All right, hello students. Today we're moving on with lesson 19, substituting to evaluate addition and subtraction expressions. All right, so let's kind of just jump right into the opening exercise so you can kind of see what we're getting into. If we look at the instructions or kind of the paragraph here, it says, my sister is exactly 2 years older than I am. Sharing a birthday is both fun and annoying. So they were born on the exact same day, just 2 years apart. Every year on our birthday, we have a party. Which is fun, but she always brags that she is 2 years older than I am, which is annoying. Shown below is a table of our ages starting from when we were born. So if this is my age right here and I was 0, my sister's age would be 2 because she's 2 years older than I am. And then so forth. As I was 1, she was 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, and then 4, and of course 6. So this is kind of a little kind of breakdown in table form. So from this table, we're going to answer a few questions. If we look below, it says, look at the table. What pattern do you see? It says, tell a partner. Well, I want you to simply just kind of put a statement here about kind of what pattern you see. So if you need to, pause the video and look at this and try to see if you identify or can identify a pattern. All right, so hopefully you wrote something down in here. There's some kind of pattern that you notice that's going on. I'm going to go ahead and identify a pattern that I see. What I see is that in this table, the sister's age is always 2 years older, is always 2 digits higher or 2 numbers higher than my age. So that's kind of the pattern that age is always, is always, well, I said 2 years older or greater or more than my age. All right, so that's kind of a pattern that I see. It's always that situation going on, no matter where we look at the table. All right, so we look at the next one. It says, on the day I turned 8, how old my sister be? Well, if we look at the table, it's not here on the table. All right, it goes to where she's 4. But if we follow the pattern that I kind of came up with, if I am 8 and she's 2 years older than I am, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 to it. So my sister would be 10 years old. So this is the age that my sister would be when I turn 8. And it says, how do you know? Well, if we, like I said, once again, follow the pattern, and since my sister is 2 years older than I am, I just simply add 2 to my age. So how do I know this? Since my sister is 2 years older than I, we just add 2. We're just going to add 2 to my age. So of course we get 2 plus 8 plus 2 for the added 2 equals 10. So of course that's how we know my sister's age is always 2 years older, so we go and just add 2. It says, on the day I turned 16, how old will my sister be? Well, kind of the same basic idea or the same basic philosophy. If I turn 16, I add 2 to it because my sister is 2 years older than I am, and of course I get 8. She would be 18 years old. Well, how do I know that? Well, I just answered that question right here. So if I just go ahead and kind of take this right here and I copy it, remember it means the same thing. Might as well just simply copy it and go ahead and paste it down here. You can go ahead and start writing it down because it's the same. It is the same reasoning. Since my sister is 2 years older than I, we just add 2 years to my age. The only thing that's going to change here, of course, is what I did. 16 plus 2 is, of course, oops, I went a little too far, is, of course, 18. But it says, do we need to extend the table to calculate these answers? And of course, the answer is no. We don't need to make this table any longer because all we have to do is just simply add 2 to my age. So do we need to extend this table any further to calculate these ages? And of course, the answer is no. The pattern is to add at the end pattern is to add 2 to your age to calculate my sister's age, or 2 to my age, excuse me, to calculate my sister's age. So add 2 to my age to calculate, oops, did that again. Calculate my sister's age. Oops, forgot to print this, apostrophe S. So of course we can write this kind of in an expression. So if I have my age, so we're going to use n for my age, I would add 2 to it, and that would equal my sister's age. Oops, I didn't put 2. Let's go erase that real quick. Sorry, I said 2, but I didn't write it. Let's go and take a moment and fix that. So if I have my age plus 2, and of course equals my sister's age. There you go. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing today. That's kind of a very simple one. We're going to go ahead and stop the video this time. We're going to move on to another example. All right, hello students. Let's go and continue on with example 1. I actually kind of jumped the gun there, and I kind of gave you the answer kind of to this next part already, but let's go ahead and kind of talk through it real quick. It says, what if you don't know how old I am? It says, let's use a variable for my age. So let y, I used m in the previous example, let y equal my age in years. Can you develop an expression to describe how old my sister is? And yes, we can. I developed an equation, but if my age right here is y, so I have y, and can I develop can you describe an expression, develop an expression to describe my sister's age? Sure. It's my age plus 2. So this is an expression because there is no equal sign. If it was an equal sign, there would be something on both sides of the equal sign. But of course, we just simply have my sister's age would be equal to y plus 2. Then it says, please add the last row to the table. So we have this blank row right here. We're going to add this to the table. Well, if I had my age, which would be y, I simply determine my sister's age by taking my age, and I add 2 to it. There you go. That's kind of the end of the table, or that's how all of these ones, or excuse me, all of my sister's ages are developed. 0, if 0 is y plus 2 is 2. If y is 1, 1 plus 2 is 3, and so forth. And we can continue through there. All right, so let's go and move on to example 2 now. Now it says, we kind of have the same table here. We have my age and my sister's age. But now it says, how old was I when my sister was 6? Well, if we look at the table, if my sister was 6, I would be 4 years old. So if that's the case, how old would we be? It would be simply 4 years old. Let's go and get a text box down here and go ahead and put 4 years old. Go to the next one. How old was I when my sister was 15? Well, it's not here, but how could we determine it? Well, if my sister was 6 and I was 4, what did I do to get my sister's age to get my age? Well, I subtracted 2. If we're going the opposite way, remember we're doing the opposite operation. So I would subtract 2, and that means I would be 13. All right, so let's go ahead and grab a text box, and let's go ahead and say, oh, my sister's 15 years old, I would be 13 years old. So as you can see, we went one way in the previous example. Now we're kind of going the other way. Next, it says, how do you know this? Well, we know this because my age is always 2 years less than my sister's. If my sister's always 2 years older than me, well, then I would be 2 years less than my sister. So it's because my age is always 2 years less than my sister's. Oops. So it's always going to be 2 years less. Of course, 2 years less than my sister's. That's why the 2 comes after the subtraction sign. And my sister's age comes first. All right, we continue going through this. Is look at the table in example 2. If you know my sister's age, can you determine my age? Well, yeah, of course we can. We can always just simply subtract 2 from your sister's age, and that equals your age. So can we determine it? Yes, it's kind of very similar to what we just talked about. Oops, I didn't grab the text box yet. So let's go and grab a text box. Can we always determine if you know my sister's age, can we determine my age? Yes. Say yes. Oops. We can subtract 2 from your sister's age. Excuse me. And that gives us your age. And that, excuse me, will equal your age. All right, so we can because we just simply do the subtraction. If we use the variable g for my sister's age in years, what expression can determine my age? Well, kind of what we just did before with my age. Now we're going to talk about my sister's age. If we're going to let my sister's age equal g, so g for my sister's age, I would go ahead and I would subtract 2 now instead of add 2 to get my age. Well, since we're writing an expression, there's nothing on the other side. We don't need an equal sign. If it said write an equation, well, then we would need an equal sign, but we don't. All right, the last part says fill in the last row of the table with the expression. So now we're going to go back to the table. And now there's the last row here. We're going to fill it in with our expression. Well, remember, G represents my sister's age. So here's my sister's age. So the G would go here. We want to make sure we're putting the G in the correct spot. And then, of course, the expression would be G minus 2 would be for my age. Because G represents my sister's age, and then G minus 2 represents my age. So if my sister is 6, of course, that's our G. 6 minus 2 is our 4. So my sister's age is 5, so G is 5, G minus 2 is 3, and so forth. We can continue doing that. All right, so we go ahead and we did the next step, and we filled out the last row of the table. And the last question says, all right, with this pattern, calculate how old I was when my sister was 22, 23, and 24. Well, if my sister was 22, 23, and 24, how old would I be? Go ahead and pause the video. Go ahead and write down the answers, the 3 different answers to this question, and I'll go ahead and write them down afterwards. All right, so hopefully you have when she was 20, when my sister was 20, I was 20. I'm sorry, for 22, excuse me, I was 20. When she was 23, you should have 21. And of course, when she was 24, I was 22. And there you go. Those are the 3 3 different ages respectfully. All right, so that's got it for that example. Let's go ahead and stop the video. We should be going over one more example with this material. All right, hello students. Let's go over one more example. Let's go ahead and change up the example here and go to exercise 1. All right, it says Noah and Carter are collecting box tops for their school. They each bring 1 box top per day. So here we go, important piece of information. Just go and underline it. 1 box top per day, starting on the first day. It says, however, Carter has a head start because his aunt saved 15 box tops. So right now he's starting off with 15 box tops even before the first day of school. Before school began. So there you go. Noah's grandma saved 10 box tops. So Noah starting off with 10 here, and Carter here is starting off with 15. And Noah added those on the first day of school. All right, so what we're going to do, so once again, we have Noah and Carter. They're each going to bring box tops 1 per day. Carter is starting with 15 and Noah starting with 10. So that's kind of the important pieces of information from this paragraph, or this little statement up here. Now it says fill out the missing values that indicate the total number of box tops each boy brought to school. So here, this column right here is the number of days or school days. So this is day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5. Here, this is the number of box tops that Noah has, number of box tops Carter has. Noah on day 1 has 11. Well, some people think, how did he get 11? Well, he started with 10. Day 1, he brought 1 more, so there's 11. Same thing with Carter. Carter now has 16. Well, he started with 15. He brought 1 the first day, so now he has 16. So now we just simply need to fill out these rows. So hopefully here for number 2, I mean, they each bring another 1 in. So Noah would have 12. Carter would have 17. So as you can see, we're just adding 1 to it each day. On this one, Noah would have 13, Carter would have 18. Next one, Noah would have 14, Carter would have 19. And on the 5th day of school, Noah has 15. Sorry, yeah, 5th day of school, Noah has 15, and Carter has 20. All right, so if we go down to B, it says, if we let D be the number of days since the new school year began, so D represents the new school year, or days in the new school year, excuse me. On D days of school, how many box tops does Noah have? Well, if we're talking about D days of school, well, if we look at this, on day 1 he has 11, day 2 he has 12, day 3 he has 13, and 4, 14. What's going on with the day of school and each day? What's happening? Well, we're adding 10 to it. We're adding his starting amounts. So day 1 he has 11 because he brought 1 that day, plus he had 10 to start with. On day 2 he brought a second one that day, plus he had 10 to start with. So that would be the number of box tops. The D plus 10 equals the number of box tops for Noah. If we go and continue through the next one, it says, on D days of school, how many box tops would Carter have brought to school? Well, kind of the same basic thing. On D days of school, remember, each day he brings 1 box top. Oops, I didn't click on that. So on day 1 he has 16, day 2 he has 17, day 3 he has 18, day 4 19, and then 20. Well, what's going on? Hopefully you see that 15 is being added each time to the days of school. So the number of the day of school. So on day 1 he brings 1 plus 15, which is 16. On day 2 he's brought the second one plus 15 is 17, and so forth. So we look down the next part. It says, on 10 days of school, how many box tops would Noah have? Well, we go back to our expression for Noah is D plus 10. Well, on the 10th day of school, so now D is equal to 10. So on the 10th day of school, D is equal to 10. How many box tops would he have brought in? Well, you plug in 10 for D plus 10, and that would give Noah 20 box tops. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put B. Let's just go ahead and put box tops. Of course, labeling what these represent or what this number represents. All right. This is why I usually type it out. All right. On the 10th day of school, how many box tops will Carter have? Well, once again, kind of using his expression, D plus 15, but now, once again, his D is still equal to 10. We're plugging in 10 for D, so now we have D, or 10, plus 15, and of course 10 plus 15 is equal to 25. So Carter would have 25 box tops. So Noah would have 20 box tops, and Carter, excuse me, would have 25. And let's go ahead and put our box tops. All right. All right, so that's kind of what we're working on today. We're going to take tables or information and develop different expressions from them so we can answer different questions. All right, so at this time, you can go ahead and stop the video and go ahead and move on to your assignment for the day.